thing. I mean, ZETA have been fairly quiet. We've had the stage shots other than when they've really been popping off. But this one for me, the reason this is so interesting is just seeing the adjustment that ZETA were able to make versus DRX in the previous series, and just how impressive it looked as well. PaperX obviously starting off on the attack. See how they decide to approach these early rounds here. And similar, we've seen the setup over towards B site from ZETA as well. No pressure coming through towards B main, a much deeper hold.
Yeah, Sugar Zero could be first contact potentially. Not alone though, and Depp's gone for a little bit of an exploration, but the timing window might have just evaded him. Potentially could have caught this cross if he'd lingered a little longer, but not to be. He's gone and supported the rest towards that B site. But you can see that PaperX are looking for opportunities, and they're not really being given too many as it stands. So starting to force the hand a little here with this A lean coming out on that. Again, if they do commit like that, would have been a problem, but actually they're slicing through middle. Forsaken looking for the fight, doesn't quite get it yet. And still eyeing up that ace. It looks like a crunch. Yeah, the wall's gone up. It's full commitment now. Who is all alone towards that side? Is surely Laz. How much he's going to get out of this? It looks like he's dead to rights. He is. First blood drawn. He's going to get things started for PaperX. Twan comes in. This split is gorgeous, but they're fighting for that territory back in middle.
Look at 3 bodies here. 4 behind this wall now, so be Mind Freak to hold down the other side of this wall here. Again, the first damage comes through, but he's actually found that.
Devi, though, still deadly! Just delivering damage! 3 back to back! Welcome to the show. The stage is already theirs. PaperX looking stunning on round 1. And again, the composure to the burst. Talk me through that round, because it felt like it was just magic in motion, right? They looked so good.
A beautiful split through mid, and again, I think ZETA actually still anticipate. They're 4 over towards B side, at least initially there. It's Laz out on the island, as you noted, with just a shorty in hand, but the pinch was beautiful there. And even just the wall cutting off these sight lines, no damage can come through. There's nobody there to help Laz out.
And it just felt like there was no time wasted with PaperX, even on that approach, right? Testing the extremities a little, pressuring a touch towards mid, seeing if they can get anything for free, and then still having that nice backup plan. But a stack coming in for ZETA. So again, see if they get anything here, if it gets felt out early. Already going to be a pixel out of play. So PaperX probably aware that there's something, but let's see if the kills come through. They are in a bit of a pinch, but again, superior weaponry, no light armor, nothing really apart from Laz and Sugar Zero doing some work. That should be really about it. 10. I mean, that's not bad, and he's just shoulder peeked another. He knows what's up. Double face. Nicely done by PaperX. Now, damage-wise though, Mike, it's not bad.
Again, a couple of pistols brought into that. See what the knock-on effect is, but 2 SMGs saved out. See, obviously, I got a nice little cushion here, and actually Benkai going to throw a Vandal in the mix here as well.
I actually didn't get your expectations for the entire match. Even before,
I don't want to call this one.
I normally ask you before the game, like, oh, who you think's got this? But we didn't have that conversation. Is it a head and heart divide sort of deal? Because
yes.
It's where I'm at, right? Okay, I'm glad we clarified.
And the weird thing is my head says ZETA.
What?
Yes. In terms of logic, in terms of...
Okay, we'll explore that. All right, Forsaken is the one that's going to catch my eye this round, joined by Benkai as well. Both of them having the rifle here. Going to mean that this bonus is a little more deadly. It's got a little bit more venom to it, so we have to see if it finds what it wants. Crow's got contact towards middle, has to fall away, respect the pressure. Noted Forsaken, but he's got so much to deal with. Quick dispatch towards Forsaken, and 10 hyper aware. They've adjusted well to this mid pressure, and this looks clean as you like. Okay, well, it made me a liar, Laz, but that's fine. Benkai still stands, and it's 4 to find, though.
70 HP again. Approaching closer and closer. Sugar Zero to find it as well. 4 survive. That's big here in round 3 for them to force a full repurchase. PaperX. Again, it looks like actually they're already anticipating now that whether or not this is an execution that PaperX are going to rely on here. They're set up perfectly for it.
I think something about ZETA as well that we have to identify and note. Oh, no shot. That's the watch party.
I wish we were there now. The stage is sick, but I wish we were there.
Take me there. I'll take the plastic chair and just
let's play.
Any headphone given. But no, incredible scenes. I mean, I think it does characterize what people have been feeling with this team is, you know, the underdog who's really had its day. Now, outside of that, though, we do have to look bigger picture eventually. For now, though, we do have the purchase and a quick fight that was won by Forsaken. The deadly duo is someone that I want to look at as well, which one part is Forsaken, the other is Jing. So if those two start finding that form that we know they are synonymous with, I do get a little nervous, obviously, for ZETA here. But for now, we carry on as per. Wall goes up. always seems to have a plan in mind, and the spike will be planted. Yeah.
Oh, completely unnoted.
No, he's playing way ahead of the curve. They have no idea of the timing they could have had. He's going to be able to get a punish. Where was the communication? Deb goes down. A mistake has happened, and Jing just under the skin for now. Sugar Zero and 10, where are you in this? All right, Sugar Zero, I mean, you've got wall after wall to get past. You're going to have Depp back on his feet, so they know that at least there's still 2 around middle. Devi is here. Ball goes up. Mindfreak's found 10. Mindfreak's found another. And now it's just Sugar Zero in a 1v3, and there's no time for it. Devi was watching it, waiting patiently. The cross kept in check, and Paper X gets started nicely here into the full gun rounds.
It's just such a lovely play from getting over the top of that wall there and just going a little bit deeper. Like I said, I mean, you notice the communication not there. Finds the first one to Crow, able to slip around here, but it's almost like Depp was half expecting it. Really strange, but I mean, at that point, round all but done, and a great backstab from Mindfreak as well. The timing that beautiful, just as they were setting up for the retake. A hero rifle here, actually, in the hands of 10. Yeah, the tag's coming through, but Forsaken's open up elsewhere.
Yeah, it does go for 10 there from Benkai, and I actually don't mind that spot with the frenzy. Maybe a little one and done, but you're just trying to slow the roll. Maybe allow time for that hero rifle to hit the right site. Looking at what guys, Forsaken going to be the tip of the spear as best he can, actually get sent away. The wall going to keep them safe for now, and I do say for now because that is being contested. Forsaken going to try and get him anything to fight with as well. He doesn't have much more beside that. What his post plant's like? It's not too bad. You still at least have Mindfreak standing, so there is going to be that deeper element to this post plant to clear. And Forsaken looks good for it. Actually, no, 10 with 2. How have you found that? And a tap on the spike. The ult goes up, and 10. Embodying that hero rifle, but Mindfreak, there's no way you find the timing on this, right? You are irrelevant surely to this round there, and it goes a little short. The defuse is in, and ZETA finding their second here off the back of a hero rifle. That should be a couple more upgrades I'm hoping they could find, as that's a solid round.
Yeah, didn't actually see them retrieve the weapons.
No,
but
I only see 2 left.
Yeah, we're a little deeper, maybe than anticipated, but Tango's absolutely huge. And again, it's so aggressive to swing here. I'm not sure if this is just total awareness of positioning on the side of Benkai. At least you did see actually in the previous round, I think it was Laz noting where that shock dart lineup was coming from. So maybe that's actually 10 addressing that.
So the thing I wanted to kind of start talking about till we saw that incredible watch party is the preparation that ZETA have been coming in with feels fantastic. And I'm not going to say that's not the case for Paper X, because I feel like they're a very momentum snowbally team. The amount of interviews post-game of like, oh, we got knocked out by Paper X, or, you know, we've had our run halted by them. And it's like, yeah, we
don't know
thought
how,
we were ready,
but
then they snowballed, and, you know, all those like words that just mean really nothing. But it seems so apparent when you watch it so clearly that they are a fast and loose team, and they're good at it. But again, on the other side for ZETA, very well prepared. We've seen it quite often now. They've come in with a really good mindset, so credit to the coach. Whoever's pulling the strings on that, or if it's in-game, quick identifying of problems, they adjust really well on the fly.
Like I said, and actually the DRX series, I mean, ZETA looks so good at just playing like anti-plant, basically. And some of these just small little pieces are almost baiting PRX in to do the same, but I mean the difference here being I think PRX are a little more willing to dig deeper to find these kills onto site. Depp actually posted up now.
Look at the stack.
It's a triple stack.
Yeah, and they're not backing at all. 10's still sticking around, as is Laz. Sharp already is 10. But Paper X know that there's more problems here to try and work out. Laz going to be forced away. Now you're down to 10. And they re-aggress. They re-swing. All 3 of them swing back onto B-Long. That's beautiful work. Depp chimes in with 1 as well, leaving 3 alive. And Paper X are getting 4 on every single front here. Now, there could be a slip in mid, so keep in mind on Mindfreak if he does get to kind of work around the back, but I think the trap just got dealt with, so instantly they address it. Mindfreak on the punish, though, finding Laz. Overextends towards Kitchen and tries to close the gap. The res comes in, and we're back to a 4v4.
That's it, Mindfreak. We'll get tagged by the recon there, but no spam coming through just yet.
He can cut rotation.
He can indeed. Spike's already making his way towards A-Launch. Sugar Zero actually with a swing through. You see it by in position to punish that. And 10 now. He's just going to miss Mindfreak on the way out.
Timing.
Oh, no, he's not.
No, he's not. He caught him on the way back through, and it is 10. Finds Mindfreak, so now they can freely hit that rotation, not worry about the dagger in the back, as the 3v3 should begin. But again, a little bit of an early play. Crow got over here in time. Jing's been caught, and now it's 2. Benkai and Devi. Op still in play, but only 13 seconds. It begs the question, can they even get this plant down? The chip damage didn't quite do enough to take Benkai out of the round, but Depp's going to instantly close that gap. The wall's still in play, and Benkai looks to punish, waiting on the other side for the reveal. Oh, 10 on the punish of it as well. This retake is on the money so far. Divai, you've been denied vision, line of sight, any capability to deny this defuse. You need to back away and keep that operator. ZETA are bringing out an incredible game right now, Mike.
The timing there is just excruciating in mid. Mindfreak just half a second away. He wants to put up that wall just to cut off the rotation. We talked about he was in a position to punish that. Once with that wall, he forces everyone towards rafters, towards heaven, but timing perfect from 10. And it's so weird to just see them want to re-aggress onto B main here, especially noting the setup. First is spotted on the drone, the second and the third, both pinged on the recon bolt, and Forsaken still hanging around.
Can we just get that the whole time? Is there an option
feed that
for this?
audio
Please,
in here.
please. I've got to say it as well. What a time to come alive for 10. He is on a mad tear right now. Just instantly quelling any nerves. Because you stepped on the stage, it's a different atmosphere. They hear the steps on the other side. Laz knows someone's at least going for a little jump peek. You do see someone's clearing close here. They do only have a frenzy, so they have a little bit behind it, as well as that operator. Not too much, though. Oh, dear. This could...
What is this?
They have no idea. They have...
Depp!
What? Why? Depp's just left in the trap. It's a trade out eventually. I don't think he can filter the weapon back, but I'm sure he wants to, sticking around a little long as Device still alive. And he's meant to be the danger man. Laszlo still on it, and 10 by his side. They are standing tall here, and that could have been a disaster waiting, and it just wasn't. Cleaned up in the end for Stand, 4 found.
I mean, it's things like that. Luckily, it's only one player that slipped the net there.
That could have been so...
Yeah. I mean, if it's one of the players with a weapon, that could be a completely different story. But you can imagine what Depp is just like, how the hell is he there? Because he would, I'm pretty sure Depp was up there pretty early. Whether or not he was actively jumping over the top of the pipes there, I'm not entirely sure, but...
14-3. 10. If he carries on, he's just making the stages up. That scares me, that does. A player who feels comfortable on these stages. Depp going walkabouts. You're seeing ZETA starting to feel out the game a little here, and predicted, considered by Mindfreak. Aware of the chance, but Depp's not relenting. He's going to carry on to check this. And it's quick. Think of the timing of this one. And again, they're so close to each other on these timings.
That's actually going to feel a lot of the heat here. I think that initial shock dart actually just to address his TP on site potentially. So the end goal being B site. Laz got himself tucked in and still safe behind yellow just now, but he has to deal with the recon bolt. He's going to be pinged and Divide punishes it.
Zero, I think you got noted then. Just on the shoulders, Peak still does take Forsaken down, but it's really good trades from PaperX. Nice spacing. Everything they wanted, they're going to put up the... Oh, and it's sloppy from Jing there.
Yeah.
Bro's going to pick that up for what feels like free, even though it's certainly not. And now the 3v3. Res invested, Sugar Zero's here. You're going to have an insta lockout. And actually one right back at him. They're buying time on either side. Divide, though, still going to be holding the line, but Vision has been slightly taken aback. But look at the absolute array of utility that litters the ground. That spike can't be touched just yet. Divide, just quick as lightning, takes down Sugar Zero. Oh, double! Benkai! He's found 2! Depp can only do so much as Divide is the one to close down the round, and we're seeing PaperX fight right back.
Beautiful hit there. Again, like I said, if that shock dart is to just address one of the TP positions, well, a nice little piece there, just to, I mean, doesn't end up finding the TP, but just to try and pressure Laz a little bit, knowing full well he's going to be the one playing potentially very close contact here.
That's a quick timeout from ZETA that's just been pulled in as well. I don't know if it's to identify this B piece that they've now been presented.
It's just so squishy. It's just like a Sova's dream. So yeah, actually coming back into this, Blade Storm, yes, but not an awful lot else to work with here. The purchase should be fine. Again, one more behind this potentially. PaperX actually a couple of gaps here. Always need to string together a couple of flawless rounds on either side here, but all tied up 4 apiece. And I would say a little slower from PaperX. It actually looks pretty good in some of these rounds. And that was one thing we credited ZETA so much against DRX, is their ability to really run the clock down, both on attack and defense. Like I said, and actually if the second layer of that is just playing these geeky little anti-plant setups, it's absolutely fine, right? We know that these late round hits, if it's a spike that goes down or one kill really in either direction can swing the round. So no surprise really to see ZETA playing. I mean, really invested in some of these setups, to be honest with you. Again, traditionally, actually, it was Sugar Zero and Crow over towards A site that were allowing the other 3 players on ZETA just really dig their heels in on B site.
With all that kept in mind, the scoreline's still sitting at 4-4. FavorX did just get the last. Bear in mind they did win the pistol and the follow-up off the back. So, gonna see how the scoreline's been molded. Already FavorX showing full intent towards this A side. Not really much of a default to begin with. It's committed and it's good. Devi pins down Laz. That should be the go signal, and the follow-up is so quick from Forsaken. And just so, it's
in the spawn?
Yeah, I'm calling this round off already. I'm starting to think about a save because you're getting nothing. You've got so much to get through and barely any utility really committed, but Depp still got that ult out, so he desperately wants to bring it into use. One knife goes astray, but he's still got a couple more to play with. Jumps in on it. It's not good enough. It is not good enough. FavorX. That was a beautiful round.
Absolutely. And just what the doctor ordered. The Prime Gaming flawless here. To bump up that economy just a little bit more. ZETA to come into this. I mean, Laz the only one struggling. No tour de force available, but again, the first pick. And look how deep Forsaken is willing to go. Second kill comes here. And within like half a second, he's in the spawn, swinging it. Yes, it's 2 misses onto 10 with the operator, but it's pressure. Exactly, exactly.
Holy shit, I miss everything.
Don't worry, it's pressure, all right? Don't worry, we got you covered.
Suppressing fire.
It's not Battlefield, Mike. As we are old. True, very true.
You've just shown your age, not me.
I think my face shows my age at this point, mate, let's be honest. But the young guns in the server, so prepared for this already, and it looks like a similar scene here, right? Rinse and repeat. But the difference is Laz stands. A quick trade out, Jing with a swing. And now Devi still prowling. He knows that Depp wants to be here, right? It's like, mark your man. The rest comes in. What can Depp do about this? Yes, Sugar Zero's on his side, but again, Depp's been found. FavorX bringing just, again, perfect execution. Could not compound the kill to make it a double. And this is just clinical work from FavorX. Just finding that lovely composure to the hit. All goes up. Now they know where 10 is. They just pick up the frag towards Mind Freak, and this would be a 1v3 beckoning. Spots the close. That could be a free kill. It is. But look at Jing moving around so swift. That could have been.
He stepped around the tag again.
Okay, okay. That was getting a little unnerving. Device calmed it, quelled down the round, kept 2 alive, and put 6 on the scoreboard.
I gotta say, this is the second time now we're seeing Laz kind of overstay his welcome, right? It finds the first blood, but he's allowing FavorX to respond.
Yeah.
And it's really bizarre because something else that we credited versus DRX is their ability to get in and out, find 1 kill, and allow this 20-second stalemate almost, allowing that pressure to build on the back of it. And that's the second set. I don't know if this is nerves or what, but it's a little overzealous to stay in that position with no support whatsoever. I mean, there's no counter swing set up for it.
Get out of my way!
Laz, again, let's see if he's...
Jing's posted.
Yeah, he's absolutely on this. Now, the timing could work
Mind Freak's all the way through.
Yeah, Mind Freak's already...
What?
He slipped the net so perfectly. He's behind the wire. But
what?
Depp! Okay, you're going to check that, are you? Fair enough. And the response from Laz in kind. It's a 1-2 punch and they go down, but FavorX still exploring towards middle. Jing, it looked like he was so ready for this. He hears this noting of Crow, but it's not just Crow, it's Sugar Zero, and they go for the cross together, and they die together! Crow 9 and Sugar Zero down, wall goes up, he keeps his life. Jing still fighting the good fight for FavorX. He's still doing the damage!
What?
Jing's immovable in mid! And now where's Laz in this sweating bullets? And Jing's already on the case. This guy goes down, turns for a second. Vision depleted, Devi right back at him. FavorX look deadly. We have seen Jing come to life here. We're starting to see them finding room, and they're finding space on ZETA.
Jing is just literally unhinged. Like, he doesn't care about anything. I mean, this is insane. The first one here, but then just this adjustment here to still find the kill onto 10 is just beautiful.
He's an absolute monster in the game.
FavorX is so slippery to deal with because they're willing to make plays like this. It's just one play, Mind Freak just walking up.
Yeah.
Continue to overwhelm them.
Okay, so gonna get rid of the operator. Rifles
You want
galore.
to play? Let's play.
Pop the ult. And away we go. This time you're going to see the adjustment. ZETA with a quick lean towards this A side. Going to leave only 1 towards B. It's a 4-play stack essentially here. And FavorX have shown they've got the money before. They've got the goods. But 10 this time at least can deliver the first. Takes down the individual. The one who's left a little bit further right. 10. margins between these two, and this is the most pressure that I think PaperX have felt on this hit so far. And look who's going exploring. Mindfreak's looking for options. Now, there is a player given this role to deny this. Laz, his duty right now is to try and find this, and they might miss each other like ships in the night. And it's still hitting the side.
TV will be hurt here, but the hit comes straight through. Forsaken and then coming.
How is Forsaken there? Again, the pressure is unbearable, and ZETA are cracking under it. Laz and Sugar Zero, there's a man behind the lines. They had no idea that Mindfreak was there. And now it's Sugar Zero and a Spectre. This would be heroics of the highest kind, and it's not going to happen. PaperX look good.
And they look unorthodox. it's just like, what do you do? The recovery factor just isn't there for ZETA. Because PaperX are just willing to do the unthinkable in some of these rounds.
All right, well, with that in mind, then, Analyst Desk, can you just break down the unthinkable,
What's up,
please?
What's up, Bala? What about us?
Yeah, what up, Bala?
Thanks,
I know. What the
Hype
heck
Hawk.
is that?
Okay.
That toxic, but it's all
Yeah, a little toxic. That's okay. Well, you know what, Bala? Then we'll put you in the hot seat first. I mean, PaperX playing very well now. I mean, I know it's the first half, but you thought they were doing particularly well, especially in the front line.
Yeah, I think there are openings that they're finding. Once they kind of stopped a little bit with the very fast mid-split type of play that they did multiple times in the beginning of that half, they really started to find openings on A. And they were really pushing, I think, with Devi and Forsaken towards the players that did so well, I think, against DRX, which was Sugar Zero and Crow. They're stopping any sort of counterplay towards the plants.
Having someone as accurate as Devi, I think, is really important because we saw a lot in the first series, missed op shots from Sardak, for example. That was so evident on IceBox. He wasn't taking power positions, whereas Devi, the man on your screen right now, everywhere he looks, he gets that first shot off and it hits, and it is rippled across the map from the defenders. Also, interestingly enough, PaperX taking that mid aggression, taking a lot of mid control as well. It's not necessarily Devi and whatnot who's taking it, but it allows Devi to move up an aggressive position because mid is held so strongly by players like Jing, etc.
Yeah, I think they're doing a great job slowly controlling that space now. At the beginning of the round, or the half, it was bad because they were going fast and just kind of falling into the splits that ZETA was very, very happy to fight into. Now, because they're finding so much space on the extremities, then the mid starts to become a lot weaker. I think it's going to be interesting as we go to the second half to see how ZETA's, I mean, we've talked about how and set expectations about how their slow approach to their defaults are going to be good against PaperX. I think this is a still doable half, even though it's 4-8 for them, because of that exactly.
All right, well, it's time for the second half. What's up, Pansy?
Get him.
I can't believe they've done that. I can't believe you've done this. Moving on, however, we do have 4-8, right? So we kind of have to roll this back because, again, PaperX did pick up the pistol, so it gives it a little bit of buffer on the round scoreline. If ZETA can convert that, they're back in the game. It is still closable, Mike, but I feel like PaperX, that last bit of the first half, I'm scared. Genuinely, I'm scared.
Absolutely. I think ZETA actually stacked up here. Oh, Devi's actually going to challenge for it. No, going to TP away here. So we'll give it up, but it kind of plays in Forsaken. We'll be in a position here, and actually Devi's still going to deal with the drone. So Forsaken unnoted as of yet. Dep still seemingly aware, though. Palm comes through. Actually, the timing's perfect there.
Yeah, Devi is still delivering, though. You can see this guy is just going to be pumping damage, it looks like. Takes one away. That's Crow removed. But they are in the post plant, so at least they have the time on their side and the limit. Sugar Zero just getting taken down to half here. And what's going to be the component of this retake? Already the start. Mindfreak trying to hit the swing, but it's Jing the one who delivers. It's going to be Sugar Zero who goes down and they fall away from Yellow. Have to give up some space, and how are they going to contest this now? What? Yeah, what are you going to do to stop this? Nothing. You got to just sit there and watch as the round gets taken away from you.
Again, playing just a little too deep here. No pressure coming on towards the wall, and no real safety net in that setup for ZETA. PaperX making absolute use of the most important PC utility. ZETA just have to sit back and watch.
Yeah, as soon as they fell back, as that wall went up, you just feel like you're watching a calamity. There's not much you can really do about it. You get kind of taken away from being an instigator of any variety, and that's going to be rough. And a great start, though, for PaperX. Again, they just get to keep building. It's just like that first half never happened, really. It's just, oh, straight back into it, boys. Don't worry. Right, back to business. And Laz looking to explore middle this time.
A little more restrained, actually, initially here on the second round for PaperX than I was expecting, but Device still in position here to challenge deep onto B main. Mind Freak holding on to the upside of the tube here. Lad's going to be forced away, and Forsaken actually might be in a position to greet him on the other side here on the cross. Just in range here, but he's going to attack
the HP.
1 HP.
Yeah, so little left, and
Is there fun to kill? What?
I don't know how.
Benkai.
I have no idea how. On that HP that you still found a frag, that's baffling, if anything. Now, the spike's still heading towards that A side. 2 players are over, and Laz is just trying to play his life as best he can. Any time that he can buy, any presence that he can draw out, anything, any small margins, that's his job. Now, Forsaken's gone down. Dep's done well. Sugar Zero's combined it, too. They are still fighting this out. ZETA, they're not stopping yet, and Laz saw it. I'm so certain he's seen Mind Freak on the other side here. It's Defy. Oh! The hunter becomes the hunted, and there's still hope for PaperX in this round. 3 alive, and Crow's HP is super low. That golden gun in Devi's hand could be the game changer, but the damage on Mind Freak, they've got to know he's there now. How do they dig these players out of these positions? I don't know, but they've got to get a move on. Time is starting to tick away from them, and none of these shots are coming through there. Finally, it starts to crack, it starts to break. There's still one above them, and it's Dep! Herds them away as Sugar Zero to find Devi. And ZETA find their way back on the score, but in a round that should never have been theirs.
Absolutely. They had no right finding this much freedom towards A side. It's on the back of Dep initially, creating this space, and with pistols, they're able to just literally walk on. I mean, barely any damage done. Crow's the only one that's really tagged up in that scenario. Wow, and that's after Laz as well. Should have been dead to rights at the bottom of tube. But the timing of that hit onto A site, perfect from ZETA.
As one here.
PaperX actually now fully reset. 2 shorties to bring in here.
Hey look, as long as you don't go into a stack, you should be fine, right?
Right?
Right. Should. But we'll see. I mean, ZETA did well with very little, but again, you've got to look at their bolster now with rifles coming through for 10 and Laz, not to mention Pro, of course, as well. So it's going to be very, very tricky, even with the classics and the shorties. And you can see instantly ZETA sitting quite deep, trying to not allow any of those pressure scenarios to build. Any of these opportunities going to beckon for PaperX. They're at least going to get the step on the side. Quick lean out from Dep, going to find one. Trade for Devi. And so far, comfortable enough, unless more spirals off the back of Devi. That's the one that can change this in my mind. The tag's not
That's
bad.
a lot of damage though.
All goes up, and this would need a miracle, and Jing's trying to pray.
Surely
He's
not.
sitting on this one, but he does go down. Crow's got it. Safe pair of hands in the end, and the gap on the scoreline does begin to close in.
Big response here from the first 2 rounds. So first 3 rounds now. Let's see if ZETA can build on this. Sugar Zero already up to 7,300. I mean, Dep on 5,500 and the Blaze Storm here. Look at PaperX, the only one really, anything left in the bank. Being Jing. Devi does have the tour de force here. A couple of these ultimates just about coming online.
Here.
PaperX find double digits here. Or can ZETA really ride the wave? It's a
Blocking sight.
weird purchase here, but like I said, Blaze Storm, you have to offset that slightly.
Barrier created.
Sugar Zero bringing a Spectre in with 7,300 here.
Don't know if I love that.
Yeah, I
Especially this
just buy a
scoreline.
rifle, man.
Yeah, no one's going to be that mad at you for wasting a couple of hundred. You're good, for the sake of the round, potentially. And Dep, Laz, shut out instantaneously. PaperX with a denial. It's sharp as hell from Mind Freak. What a way to close down the account, building through from ZETA. And I don't think that rifle would have made the difference.
No, not in that scenario. Absolutely not. Yeah, but now ZETA have the benefit. Rez coming online. Viper's Pit. Laz one off the tour de force, so it's a big round here for ZETA to close the gap once more. Mind Freak with that first onto Dep. What was that?
Unbelievable.
Let's go, boys.
You can see the difference. Sitting on double digits, you just get that little bit of calmness to you, a little bit more buffer to play with. You're so close to conversion. And obviously ZETA now have their work cut out. They do have at least money to fall back on. They can now ride through the rest of the money they built up early. And the pressure on Dep at the very start here. Masses, 3 players leaning down B long.
Deep they are, yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what the plan is with them.
Well, they feel no pressure here, and
Nothing.
see, Jing will pick up the slack towards mid. This is more in terms of what we're expecting here from ZETA. Much slower approach here. Aldro going to clear through, but dealt with by Devi. Forsaken unnoted as of yet. Much slower approach in this round.
So
Jing
tense.
dancing with death there, and
You
what
see
was
him mid?
that?
Yeah.
And Benkai's there to pick it up though.
Okay, because I thought the parting gift
Yeah.
would have potentially come through, but yeah, instantly found, and they doubled up almost to deal with it. But there's still this presence. Forsaken's gone unchecked. Devi's going to get all the attention with the death grip on towards Long. Forsaken finds another, and this is disastrous. This is a problem for ZETA. Looking flat on the default is not how we want to go about this one. And it's Paper X starting to feel out the game. The confidence is brimming as it's a flawless round.
And that's massive. Behind 11. A couple of ultimates coming online as well.
Here.
Mind Freak's being the biggest here for me. Will allow Paper X to potentially get a little more aggressive elsewhere. I mean, not that they need to, honestly. ZETA slow down here. Nobody from Paper X oversteps the mark. I mean, Jing on the cross potential there to be caught, but
Nice, guys.
is it Benkai in position just to make sure that it's considered, and ZETA will actually call a timeout here, rightfully so in my eyes. Tour de Force available, Viper's Pit, and the Revive available for ZETA here. And again, now actually, the money's starting to dwindle, Lauren.
I think that's maybe the reason for the timeout. Discuss the economy going forward, because as said, you've got 11 against you now, so you are starting to hit that dangerous marker that if you just have a bad buy at one point and have something poor in mind, you're not going to be able to convert. So I'm a little worried at this. Sugar Zero's going to have to go massive against Laz as well. He's got a way to ride through this round if he wants to pop the ult through.
Yeah, for me, it's the Tour de Force here. They've got to make something work off that.
But I would say, so far, Paper X have been just meeting them step by step. It looks very solid in the last couple that we've seen come out. Considering how flawless that one was, it's certainly resonating with me, but it seems as though the attack timeout has come to a conclusion. At 6-11, Paper X are looking quite in charge in this game, I think is the best way to describe it, at least in this half now. I need ZETA to wake up a little here. Find that next layer of form, otherwise this will all be for nothing, right? This map will fall by the wayside. Devi, though, this man is daring. He wants to try and get involved, but he's going to get the Aldro and has to respect this to an extent.
Trap destroyed.
Trap dealt with there, but the Hunter's Fury going to get popped. On the back of it here,
Oh, and
Benkai
it's
will
found
actually find Crow. He looks
Oh,
find a
it's-
second Sugar Zero falls.
Benkai from the back lines is incredible, and Devi is unrelenting, still going to stick around a little longer. Finds 10, but does get traded by Laz, but look at what's remaining. It's 2, Laz and Depp, and we said that the gun in Laz's hand has to be the one. And Depp frozen, solid, and they've already slipped the net. Look who's over at yellow, look who's moving. It's going to be Jing behind enemy lines. They have no idea that he's here. If they clear this properly, it doesn't even matter. Benkai's got him dead to rights, and Depp is in danger. Surrounded, as Jing is the one to do it. Puts 12 on the board, and Paper X trying to book in that ticket to the finals.
It's so proactive. It's a minimal contact just from the trap being dealt with and the owl drone. The Hunter's Fury finds 2. They're just literally stuck in here. There's so much damage done. That's even another tag coming on. Beautiful stuff from Benkai.
Really is. Paper X are a joy to watch. It's unorthodox and it's a little out there at times, but there is method to the madness when you get to see rounds like this. How do you handle it? How do you deal with it? Well, that's what ZETA has to answer right now. It's 6-12. You do not want the scoreline looking like this going in the rest of the game. Try and get some more on the board. Try and build up something. Forsaken's living in their minds rent-free right now. He's just walking through mid. Is anyone going to check on this? Hopefully they have players watching, or does he get the timing just right? It's away, and it's a bullet to the brain. Overkill almost, but he's got support. Jing's by his side. The dangerous duo of 2 just deny any entry towards middle, and they are unrelenting in this. Aggression on aggression. They're turning the screws, and Depp feeling real alone right now. Spike left a mile away. It's all on his shoulders to potentially face the music here. The crest on the corner could be the seal of it. It looks like Jing's already on the prowl. Forsaken may want it. Depends who gets it, but it's probably going to be one of them. Paper X looking like the perfect storm today. 13.